it's by that pattern that dolphins echolocate, the sound pattern that they will do to identify what things are made of, what their shapes are. One of the interesting things that happened to me when I was working at Disney, I became pregnant while I was working there with our first child. And when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to dive because you can get the bends and the potential of gases getting too small in your bloodstream and causing problems for the baby. And so when I was, excuse to train our siblings. Anyway, so when I became pregnant, I couldn't dive during feeding time, and so during feeding time I would wade out onto a platform about waist high in the water and broadcast food over the surface of the water for the open ocean fish that were swimming, the pelagic fish. And during the other divers would get in the water and they would dive, and that worked great. That was my job from that point on. And after about a month and a half, 2 months, I waded out on the platform one day and started feeding, and the dolphins came up to me and they were nudging my knees and they were bumping into me and knocking into me and pushing me out of the water. And I thought, these guys, they're playing. I push them away. What are they doing? And they just would not let me on the platform. They would not leave me alone. So we tried a different location, set a platform up somewhere else. They did the same thing. They would not leave me alone. Well, another diver got out and did some wading and broadcast feeding from the platform. The dolphins left her alone. Now, we don't know why they were picking on me, but we know that dolphins can identify what things are made of by the echoes coming back. So we think that perhaps they could hear the second heartbeat or identify that I was pregnant, and their natural instinct to protect me from predatory sharks might have been the reason they were picking on me and not letting me in the water. We don't know. Obviously, we can't ask them that question. But it was interesting that they singled me out at about 2 months of pregnancy. And from that point on, I couldn't get in the water and do that feeding unless we took the dolphin and put them in a separate holding tank to keep them from bothering me. So it's fascinating how they are able to identify what things are made of. But we're also finding, now you remember I told you how they showed the dolphin the two different balls. So we've taken 2 dolphins. One, they're separate from each other. One is in one aquarium compartment and another is in another aquarium compartment. One of them has the 2 different balls to identify. The other one has 2 pictures of balls, one on the left and one on the right. They're just 2 red circles, basically. And so we had showed the first dolphin pick the wood one, and he'll pick whichever one it is, the one on the left. And then we trained them to tell the other dolphin which one to pick, one on the left, one on the right. And 85% of the time, the dolphin on the right picks the correct side. The dolphin picks the right ball picture without being able to echolocate. So that dolphin can't echolocate on the 2 balls that are in the other tank, but he's hearing some kind of communication from the first dolphin as to which side to pick. And so it's interesting that these guys are able to have some communicative abilities. That's what it's telling us, that they possibly can communicate.